Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Crispy and today we are back on my butterfly island of Mariposa. So last time we worked on this butterfly bridge leading across to probably more villager houses, but we're not going to work on that side today. Today we're going to work on this side. So I did mark out some 9x7 areas that some butterfly ponds will go. Hopefully they'll let me waterscape on this line right here. This right here is what I'm worried about because I don't know. I don't remember how close it lets you get. It may not fit there. I may have to scoot it over one. And it's not in line with the incline, but I'm just gonna have to be okay with that. Otherwise they won't fit down here. But what I wanted to try to do is make some butterfly islands for some of my frogs to go. So on this island, let's look at the map. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 different froggies. I could probably put some more butterfly islands over there on the left side by the peninsula. I could probably put 2 over there and 2 down here maybe, but I want to try to fit them here. I may have to scoot it over if it won't let me waterscape right here because it's a 9x7 butterfly pond. So yeah, I may have to scoot it over, but at any rate, we're gonna put 2 frogs here and we're gonna save the other 2 frogs for the left side of the map. So we're gonna work on this today and maybe decorate our frog yards. There's not gonna be much room. Yeah, a house is barely gonna fit on here. I don't even know if it'll fit with the wings. We'll have to see. If anything else, you know, we can just make these butterfly ponds and decorate around them and we'll figure out another place. I mean, I could always put the houses up here if they won't fit. I can put a house here probably and a house here with the butterfly ponds in front of it. So we will do one of the two. All right, let's get started. Alright, so I don't know what I was thinking. There's no way that villager houses would fit on a 9x7 butterfly. Maybe a 9x7 like rectangle, but they definitely did not fit. And I was also struggling with my butterfly grid, and so I cut a lot of it out. I only left the part in where I halfway got it right, but I was struggling. I've made this butterfly pond many times before, so I'm not sure why I was struggling, but I was struggling. But basically you just, I mean, it's easier to put custom codes on the ground if you're going to make this butterfly pond. So you would put like a full code that takes up the whole square for the like full tiles on the butterfly, and then for the slanted parts of the butterfly like around the wings, then you would use like the slanted custom code. So I was using the edges of the path and I was using like the middle tile for the part that goes diagonal. And so this is probably, I don't know, second, third attempt at putting down the codes and making sure they were right. And yeah, I think I managed to get it right with this one, but it just helps when you're trying to waterscape if you have these codes on the ground and you don't just try to, you know, free form it. And so here you can see I was trying to measure out the 4x4 house, and there's no way that it was going to center on that butterfly. It was going to be so off center and look so weird and not have any space. So then I tried to put it above, and it was so close to the bridge and it wasn't centering with the butterfly because the spacing is off. The butterfly is like 9 and the houses are, 4x4, so it's like trying to center, even with odd, and it just doesn't work. So I was struggling, definitely struggling. I tried putting them, on the top, and I tried putting just one on the top. I wanted there to be space to walk through the middle of these butterfly ponds, and so I didn't want to block the area where you would have to walk through because there was going to be very little to no space around the edges. And so this is where I take off the grids where I had thought I was going to put the plots, and where I just decided, well, maybe if I can just put one up in the corner, then I'll just have one house. But I really wanted there to be 2 of the frogs here because I have 4 frogs and I actually have 2 girls and 2 boys. And I just thought that it would look really cute to have like a couple next to each other. I just thought it would be cute. And so if I had put Diva's house here where I just showed the guide, then it would have been so far over to the right of this butterfly. It would have looked awful. So I don't know why I was trying to do this. Maybe I was gonna pull the other one over, but you can see there it doesn't look bad on the map, but I don't have the waterscaping done yet, and so it definitely was not going to be even on both sides, and I was definitely struggling. I decided to just go ahead and put the waterscaping in and then figure out what I was going to do with the houses, but I just was trying to salvage this build. And so waterscaping doesn't always go exactly where you want it to, so that's why I definitely recommend putting codes down first, because sometimes you try to waterscape in a spot and it says no, it goes into a different spot, depending on where you're standing and how far away you are. So I would definitely recommend putting just like that, putting the custom codes down first, because it does make it so much easier. So much easier. And I've done these butterflies before. I did them on my winter island. I did them on my other entrance that RIP I ended up just not using and switching all of my codes and villagers and colors and time of year, even basically everything. But spoiler alert, I think I am gonna go back to the monarch colored island theme after I finish one of the islands that I'm currently working on. So I'm working on Moss Haven, which is my fall island, and this one was also fall before I switched the colors. But I'm also working on this island, and so I just want to finish one of them. You can see how far over, it's just not centered. The plots will not they will not look good if I put them here. So I definitely recommend putting the in-game pathing down and marking out your 4x4 house plots before you put the house down, or you're going to be moving houses like a lot. And here's where I had just one house and 2 butterfly ponds, and I was like, but I really wanted both of them. So I'm trying again. And so I just decided ultimately in the end that I was going to do 2 houses and 1 pond. So I did take out the 2 butterfly ponds, and I just made it 1 butterfly pond so that I could kind of center it between the two houses, not in the middle, but like in front of them. And so now I'm trying to place my butterfly grid again. I didn't want it too low, but I also didn't want it too high. And it ended up being lower than it needed to be, and so I ended up having to move it after I did this waterscaping. It's way far down, and it doesn't need to be quite that far down. So yeah, it was a lot of trial and error on this. This build, it was just I don't know. I don't know if everybody struggles this hard with a build, but if it could go wrong, it went wrong on this build. So I did get both houses moved, and then I had to go to HHP and customize. Well, I had to finish HHP because I hadn't even started it on this island, and so that took most all day to speedrun HHP so that I could customize their houses and make them very similar. So yeah, this build took me so long because I had to redo it so many times. Redo the butterfly ponds and redo the exteriors of the houses. I did end up doing the interior of Diva's house, but I hadn't unlocked any of the things that I wanted to, and you can see here I can't even put a bush because her house is too close. So I had to move the butterfly, well actually I moved their houses back like 1 or 2 tiles, and then I was able to put bushes there. But I mean, seriously, all of this effort and all of this time doing HHP and doing I don't know how many butterfly ponds, and then it was too close to the houses and I had to move them again. It was just, yeah, it was a struggle. I was on the struggle bus with this one, and I don't think that I should have been because, you know, in my brain it seemed like such a simple, easy build, but it was not. So yeah, but now I'm actually decorating. I will be moving the houses though, so with the blink of an eye, now you can see they're moved. So that's the power of editing. But I did have to time travel many days, and so yeah, it was a big pain. It was a big pain, but I tried to make their exteriors pretty similar. You know, Jeremiah's has the blue roof, where Diva has the purple, and then I just kept a white siding, and then you know, their doors match the villager. And so I don't know if I'm going to do all the houses in this style, but I really thought that it was cute and that they matched each other well. And I did speed up the path laying like super fast, because, you know, path laying takes forever and I didn't want this video to go too long. But some people like to watch laying the path and some people don't. It is a tedious process that takes a long time, but I just wanted there to be a path going from, you know, house to house, just going around the pond, so that you could, you know, just you could know that you could walk all the way around the pond. Basically, I wanted there to be a walkway, and the way that I make a walkway is with a path, so I guess that's pretty self-explanatory. I don't know, but I do really love this path, and I love how many like different pieces there are. There's like 3 or 4 different middle pieces, and so I really love that I can use so many different I used a different path at the entrance, but I I just keep going back to this one because I love it so much. I thought about using, I have this gray and purple brick path, and I thought about using it, but I keep going back to this path because I really love it. And so it may be my favorite path, at least for this island. I really love it. And I love that it has little flecks of blue and flecks of purple in it. But yeah, so after I get the path laid, then I started trying to fill in the space around the butterfly pond. So I don't know what you guys use for space fillers. If you use furniture or filler like trees and bushes and flowers, I tend to go with more natural fillers. So I tend to use more trees and bushes and flowers, but I also wanted there to be a ton of butterflies because this is a butterfly island. So I wanted there to be a whole bunch of the glowing moss boulders and the code that I have that looks like a butterfly pond. And so I just use a mixture of both of those, and I just tried to put as many of those as I could down on the ground, but I did struggle with trying to make this path look, you know, windy and not have too many of the same pieces too close together. That is my go-to when laying down path. Just don't put too many of the same pieces close together, and you know, you'll have an organic shape at the end. But even though the path is only connecting the two houses and going all the way around the pond, I ended up also connecting it to the path behind the houses. So I did that off camera because I figured that, you know, once you see a path putting down on the ground, you don't really want to see too much of that. So I just did that off camera. I didn't want this video to drag on too long, but I was just now filling in the space with some trees and bushes and flowers. And I also have this little area on the bottom left corner where I hop across from my house all the time instead of going all the way around. And so I wanted to leave that little space free of too much clutter where, you know, I couldn't hop across. And so I ended up putting like a plank path in, but I may have to go back and fix it because I'm not exactly happy with how it came out. But I just it's not really wide enough or big enough for a bridge. So I want you to be able to get across there by hopping across if you want to take a shortcut. But yeah, I did not have a hoppy spot, so I will terraform one in a minute. But I was also not sure what to do in terms of, I had some Karopi snacks in my pocket, and I had some mum cushions. I have some lily pad codes on this island, so I was like, what am I gonna do with this? Because I didn't put it around the butterfly pond. Maybe I should have, I don't know. But I decided to put the Karopi snack in the middle of the butterfly pond. I think it turned out really, really cute. It looks like the little Karopi snack is like, you know, the caterpillar of the butterfly. I don't know, but I just thought that it was really, really cute, just smack dab in the middle of the butterfly. I've actually seen some posts online where someone used the purple version of the shell stool and they put it in the middle of that butterfly pond, and so that looks really cool too, because it looks like the middle of the it looks like the caterpillar when you put the little shell stool and you turn it like sideways. So I may do that somewhere too, because I loved how that looks, and purple would actually match on this island, so that would be really, really cute. So I may do that at some point, maybe by the rock garden or something. But I really love the lily pad code. I just wasn't sure exactly where to put it. Maybe I should have put it around the butterfly pond. I don't know. I was debating on whether to put frogs or whether to put butterflies around the butterfly ponds. So, but yeah, so I'm just filling in the space around and switching out my flowers. I'm very picky with my flowers. I'm trying to stagger them and not put them like right on top of each other, not putting too many of the exact same flower like right next to each other. So that is why I do switch some out, but I just wanted to kind of fill in the space with a mixture of the glowing moss boulders and the butterfly ponds. And I didn't want anything too tall, like the pillars, just because they really do block the view of all of the items that you put on the ground, like the little butterfly pond code and the glowing moss boulders. And I actually did bring in the green version of the glowing moss boulder, because there was, with the blue glowing moss boulder and with the blue glowing moss balloons and the blue butterfly codes, it was a lot of blue. So I was trying to break that up just a little bit. I really wish that we had purple glowing moss boulders. That would be so pretty. I really wish they came in purple, but sadly they do not. So we are not able to use those, but I did have the purple mush logs and some purple flowers and butterflies, so I just tried to bring in some pops of purple that way. And there is some purple in some of my codes, you know, with the path and with the filler codes there, where the grass standees are on. There's some purple flecks in that as well. But yeah, I just wasn't sure where to put my mum cushions and my lily pad codes. So I did put some around the butterfly river, and you can see the hoppy spot in front of me where I hop across. It's just like a 2 wide gap there at the bottom of the butterfly river before you get to the river mouth, and I just wanted to keep that accessible because I do hop across there quite a bit, and other people might want to as well if they visit the DA, you know, instead of going all the way around. I was just trying to keep it somewhat accessible. So I will have to go back and fix my plank path because, yeah, but I just wanted to change out my tree there because the large cedar is a little bit taller than the large hardwood tree, and so I wanted to have the largest in the back because you're supposed to put the larger items in the back and the shorter items in the front. So occasionally I will switch out my trees or my flowers according to height, just, you know, to give that perspective. But I just keep walking back and forth here to make sure that I can still get across and that I'm not blocking it. You know, I might leave a vaulting pole and a ladder in the DA, but just in case, you know, I want there to be a way across there. So, but when I put my pillars down and I put the trees down, I just make sure that they're to the side so that nothing gets blocked with the view. So yeah, but we're just gonna finish filling up the space. I have not even started on the beaches yet on this island. If you do decorate your beaches, do you leave them until the last like me? Or do you do them as you go? Like in terms of like this area right here, would you have done the beaches that were below this because they're kind of part of the build? Because I definitely procrastinate and I leave them until the end, usually because I hate doing beaches, but also I love when they are done. So yeah, I have no idea what I'm going to do on the beaches. They will probably be pretty simple since my island is getting so full and a little bit laggy already, you know, because we love Scoochcore, right? Scoochcore is a vibe, and I am, you know, definitely someone who decorates every single tile if I can. So now I'm just creating the hoppy spot that is going to go across, just to kind of help, you know, you get across here. I wanted there to be at least a hoppy spot. So at first I just used codes to put down, and some items like flowers or glowing moss because you can easily walk across those. But I do come back and add like a plank path so that you know you can hop across there. But yeah, so now I'm just switching out the one of the blue glowing moss boulders just to break up the blue a little bit, even though there is a blue butterfly on top. I was trying to spread my butterflies out and not use the same one, you know, twice in a row, but there is a lot of butterflies, so I did have to use, you know, some of them a few times, but yeah, I am just going to finish filling up the space here, and then we will be finished. I had to do the right side as well, but I probably should have taken the blue rows out so that I could do my plank path a little bit better. They don't quite connect, and so that's why I said I may have to go back and change that out, because it doesn't look very good right now. It doesn't look, you know, like it connects, and it's bugging me. And I noticed that when editing, but I wasn't being too picky at this point, because I had already spent so much time doing HHP and moving houses, moving the butterfly ponds. I did go ahead on over there by the peninsula, like I said before. I marked out 2 butterfly ponds that are going to be over there, and hopefully 2 housing plots. So since I have 2 plots marked and 2 butterfly ponds already marked, I think they will fit. I didn't quite have enough space down here for both, so I do have a little bit more space over there, and then I'm gonna have to figure out where all of my other houses are gonna go. I would still love to put my rock garden somewhere on this island. I don't exactly know where yet. I haven't planned all the back of the island yet, or terraformed all the back of the island yet, but that will come. I still have to decorate around the Able sisters as well, because I haven't done that. But I did move the Able sisters to the cliff where it's supposed to be, right beside the resident services, just like the Nook's Cranny, so it will be similar to the Nook's Cranny. So yeah, but I really would like to go back to the original Mariposa codes and color scheme and try it again. I just was having a hard time fitting in the butterfly shapes that I wanted, and it was just looking like a regular fall island. I think if I maybe took the butterfly river out on the next island that I do, and I just did like a butterfly shaped garden at the entrance. Maybe, I don't know. I was just confined because of the butterfly river. I didn't have space for what I wanted to do, and then I settled for an entrance, and it just didn't come out the way that I wanted it to. It came out just looking like a regular fall island, and so I might have to, you know, rethink the butterfly river on the next one. I don't want it to be, you know, exactly like this one, and the color scheme is going to be completely different, but I just, you know, I felt kind of defeated after not being able to you know, do what I wanted to with that island, and it just made me sad. So I do want to try again, but I want to finish one or both of the islands that I'm working on right now so that I don't have too much on my plate. I typically only like to work on 2 to 3 islands at a time because it just gets to be too much. So I am working on 3 islands at the moment, counting my members island, and I'm working on a top secret project that will hopefully come out in October. We will see, but yeah, so that's technically 4, and then I also have my forever island that I'm trying to go on as much as I can, so it's a lot, and I don't want to add another one yet before I finish one of these. So I do want to finish this island because I am loving the codes and the color scheme, but I would like to revisit the monarch theme, and I don't exactly know what I'm going to name it yet. I have been struggling with a name, but it's like all I can think about is just trying again because I don't like islands to defeat me. I don't like that feeling. I don't like giving up on something that I'm really, really excited about. So I'm gonna try again. But if it doesn't happen this year, then I can always try again next year. But I'm hoping after I finish this island or Moss Haven that I'll be able to try again and try to make it as different as I can. I don't know that it's gonna, it's a fall island with monarch colors, so it's not like it's gonna be the same anyway, but I just don't know about the butterfly river because I loved that idea, but it was constraining in terms of space, that is for sure. So I might not do that again. We'll see how it goes, but yeah, I am really happy with how this build came out in the end. It just took a really long time to get there and a bunch of trial and error just because I had not, put the plots down yet, and I hadn't terraformed or waterscaped the butterfly ponds, so I didn't realize that it wasn't gonna fit, and I really wanted to have 2 of the frogs here and 2 of the frogs in another area. I just think they make cute couples. You know what I mean? If you have 2 frogs on your island, do you put them next to each other or do you put them like way far apart? Because I tend to put the same species close together, kind of like couples. Ever since my Valentine Island, I just really like to do that because I had a Valentine couples island, and so I put 5 different couples together. I had this giant vine here beside Jeremiah's house, but I ended up putting a giant vine in the back, and so I did end up switching the giant vine out for a large mush platform. But I also brought the path in the back of the villager houses all the way to the beach so that you can easily get to the beach. So I will show the final build in just a moment, but we're almost finished. I hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching my struggle bus build, and I thank you to all my members. I appreciate you guys so much. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day wherever you are in the world and whatever you're doing. And yeah, I will go and get my helper so that we can do the final walkthrough. And we are back, and I have my helper here.
Hello.
You ready to see it?
Yeah.
So I did a butterfly pond, and I put 2 of my frogs over here.
I did not. That's not what I was thinking. I thought I knew what you were doing, but I was wrong.
So I have Jeremiah on the right and Diva on the left. And I wasn't able to fit 2 butterfly ponds here, so I just fit 1. But I have all these little froggy butterfly ponds.
That's cute.
And then on this side as well. And then I just extended the path going all the way over so that you can get to the beach. I mean, Lily's over there, but other than that, nothing is over there. I'm gonna move Lily over by the peninsula. You see there's those 2 plots?
Yeah.
So Lily and Tad are gonna be over there.
Okay, then.
So, yeah.
Yay.
All right. Let's say bye.
All right. Bye. Make sure to like and subscribe.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.